What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Bulls Latest. Your host, Matt Johnson, here. As we turn the calendar to the month of October, we are so close to Bulls preseason basketball taking place here. I wanted to start today's show talking about training camp as it kicked off yesterday, and I want to go over one of the bigger questions we have with this Bulls team as we enter training camp, and that's who's going to start at the small forward position. The Bulls eliminated a preseason distraction when they finally signed restricted free agent Josh Giddey to a 4-year, $100 million deal earlier this month. When Giddey signed, the focus in training camp is now the open competition at small forward between Kevin Huerter and Isaac Okoro. That's the one main storyline that we can really lock in on as Bulls fans here ahead of the upcoming season. The rest of the starting lineup is pretty set in stone, as I went over with you guys yesterday. When you look at Kevin Huerter, I mean, this is a guy I've given a lot of praise to in my show here, but since March 1st, Huerter averaged 32.3 minutes per game for this Bulls team, and he averaged a team high plus 7.9 while on the floor. And as the Bulls went 15-3 in their final 18 games when Huerter was on the floor, that's a heck of a stretch of basketball for a Bulls team who was struggling to consistently win games prior to acquiring Kevin Huerter in that trade. So, obviously Isaac Okoro, he was acquired in that swap for Lonzo Ball. That was really the big move the Bulls made this offseason, being really something that the Bulls are going to look forward to utilizing in terms of Okoro and what he brings to the table, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Looking more at Okoro, though, he gives Chicago another physical defender, but he does offer less spacing offensively when he's on the court, and that's something that is a downside to Okoro and what he brings to the table. So it certainly will be interesting to see who will start at small forward for this team. I certainly am going to be interested to see what goes on in terms of that. Kind of switching gears here, looking ahead and some key dates to watch here for this Chicago Bulls team as we embark on the start of training camp here. October 20th is the last day to extend the contract of Dalen Terry. This is a guy I think is going to have a heck of a season coming up here. As I talked about a few episodes ago, he's really put himself in a good spot physically, and I think this guy is going to kind of be a lot bigger piece of the puzzle for this Bulls team this year than he has been in years past. So that'll be certainly exciting there. I do expect them to get some sort of a deal done by the 20th of October. Another key date here, October 31st. That's the last day for the Bulls to exercise the third-year team option on Modest. This is a no-brainer. The Bulls will definitely exercise this third-year team option on Buzelis. I think Buzelis is the cornerstone of this organization moving forward. There's a lot of stock in him as a Chicago Bull moving down the line. So just a quick note there for you guys. I wanted to and I know I've talked about this on a few separate occasions with you guys, some extension candidates for the Chicago Bulls, kind of going off the last little segment here. Just the list of guys, when you look at this Bulls roster as a whole, who are eligible for extensions. You got Vooch, Dalen Terry, obviously, just talking about him, Julian Phillips, Javon Carter, Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, and Zach Collins. I know a while back in the offseason I did a segment just like this. As we embark in the start of training camp here, I just think when you look at this list of guys, Nikola Vucevic probably ain't going to get another extension with the Bulls. I think he's going to take his talents elsewhere, probably by the trade deadline. That's where things are trending. Dalen Terry, I wouldn't be surprised if he took a team-friendly extension with the Chicago Bulls. He's a guy I think the Bulls are looking to continue to develop and make a part of their plans moving forward. Julian Phillips is an interesting case because he was a guy I was really excited about the Bulls drafting. I think Julian Phillips is a guy who offers a lot of potential. He's got a high ceiling, but he also has a higher floor. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of role he takes on with this Bulls organization moving forward. Javon Carter, I wasn't so bullish on him as the start of the show back in May kicked off, but I think Javon Carter can play the role of a veteran leader on this team. There's a lot of young talent on this team. Javon Carter is one of the older guys on this roster, so I think he could play that role of that savvy veteran, really trying to help bring along some of these young guys. Kobe White, obviously, him and his camp are going to hit unrestricted free agency this next summer. That's a no-brainer for him and what the money is going to be on the table for him. him with different scenarios in the league there. I think there's going to be a lot of interest drawn to Kobe White, especially coming off the season he did last year. I expect him to have another big year coming up here. Ayo Dosunmu is one of the more interesting cases, and I know a lot of you guys agree, but we've talked about this in prior episodes. Ayo Dosunmu is kind of a fascinating case because you can really make a case for him sticking around in Chicago for the foreseeable future, but there's also an opportunity to where he can go somewhere else rather quickly. So I really don't know where the Bulls' heads are at in terms of Ayo Dosunmu. That will be an interesting one. And then finally, Zach Collins rounding out this list. He's a guy who, played very well with the likes of Kevin Huerter after coming over as part of that Levine trade. I think he offers a lot of versatility with these Bulls, different, the lineup combinations he is able to kind of be plugged into for Billy Donovan. So it'll be interesting. I don't think it's going to take much to keep him around, but is he going to be a part of the Bulls' plans moving forward? That remains to be seen. So that will be interesting, most definitely, to watch, and those key guys there. Training camp is underway, so the Bulls are kind of starting to roll out the ideas to start, getting these things and the wheels spinning on these things. So wrapping things up, I wanted to kind of speak about some news around the league. LeBron James is out to start camp. He's eyeing a longer ramp up. He's the first player in league history now to play 23 seasons in the NBA. Really a fascinating feat, and at the level that he's done it for such a long time. LeBron is in the GOAT conversation, of course. Him and Michael Jordan really have been the king of the hill when it comes to NBA basketball players and the longevity of those careers playing at the level that they have. The big news, finally, Jonathan Kuminga and the Warriors have agreed to terms on a 2-year, $48.5 million deal. The deal includes a team option in the second year. This has been going on for such a long time, longer than Josh Giddey's situation, but Josh Giddey and Jonathan Kuminga were really the talks of this show in terms of unrestricted free agents for months, and the Warriors finally get something done there. It didn't come easy, and they have, you guys can take a look at it. I'm not sure the exact terms of it, but there's some interesting terms to this 2-year deal in terms of an opportunity to just kind of throw away that second year and make a whole new deal moving forward with the Warriors. So it'll be interesting to see what Kuminga's future looks like in Golden State, in the Bay Area. Certainly, I don't think he feels totally at home there, not given the opportunity and the money that he really wanted him in his camp. He wants a bigger role. So, but he'll stay there nonetheless for another season or two. I think Golden State's going to make some noise in the Western Conference. They will definitely be a team to watch. And then, staying on the Warriors here, there is some other news here. It's an interesting signing, but they agreed to a 1-year deal with Seth Curry yesterday. And I think that's seeing Steph and his brother play together at this stage in Steph's career is going to be something that is going to be fun to watch. I know the league will definitely take note of that, and I think the fan base, the NBA fan base as a whole, is going to enjoy that. So that'll be an interesting thing there. Overall, a little bit of a lighter show today. We have training camp underway with the Chicago Bulls. Super exciting. If I get any more, Bulls news or any data points for you guys, I will be sure to pass them along. We are so close to Bulls basketball being back and taking place here. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me on another episode of Bulls Latest today. Hit that like and subscribe button. It goes a long way for the channel, and we will see you guys tomorrow.